talking about are the hackers, the whiz kids who break into computers all over the world, sometimes for a lark, sometimes for what can only be described as highway robbery on the information superhighway.
Until companies understand that, they're putting themselves at risk.
Corporations' computers and find out their most closely guarded business strategies and secrets. The busiest road on the information superhighway is called the Internet, a worldwide link-up of computers that belong to corporations, government agencies, universities, and folks like you and me. And just like us, their computers, too, are being ripped off by the hackers. Alan Brill heads up the worldwide high-tech security endeavors of Kroll Associates in New York.
Everybody's telling you how great it is to get your company on the information superhighway.
Right.
But they don't tell you that on this superhighway, there's carjackings, there's drive-by shootings, and some of the rest stops are pretty dangerous places to hang around. Until companies understand that, they're putting themselves at risk.
Over the past few months, using the Internet, hackers have managed to penetrate the computer files of scores of top U.S. corporations, reading all kinds of sensitive, strategic, highly confidential information. They've even managed to penetrate the U.S. National Weather Service. And if it weren't for the service's backup system, the results of that penetration could have been disastrous.
They were very close to the point where they could have shut down or damaged the computer systems. If that had happened, no pilot would be able to get a weather forecast for his airplane. Commercial aviation probably would have ground to a halt.
Who are these hackers surfing the Internet? Most of them are children of the computer age, obsessed by the mysteries of cyberspace. Like these young people, most of them hackers, who gather once a month in a mall of the Citicorp building in New York to exchange news of such things as the Internet, their latest penetrations, or the best techniques for future break-ins. The hackers even have their own magazine. Its publisher, Emmanuel Goldstein. He insists that what the hackers do is harmless. In fact, he even uses his magazine to put out the word on future tempting computer targets.
If we learn a secret, we spread it around.
What do you mean by a secret?
Say there's some sort of a wide open hole in a particular computer operating system. We'll tell people what it is. But we find that 99.9% of hackers are not destructive in any way. They're curious. They want to find out things.
Curious about what? Give me an example.
Okay. Curious about how a huge computer system operates. They want to go in and get their hands dirty and see what exactly is going on. But they do it in such a way that they don't hurt things.
But it's none of your business.
Well, that's easy to say, but it's very hard to quell curiosity.
How do the hackers break into a computer on the Internet? One of the easiest ways is by getting hold of the passwords that companies use, ostensibly to protect their computer files. But to demonstrate just how easy it is to uncover a password and break in, Alan Brill writes a brief message of his own. This is a corporate secret.
And I don't want anybody to see that message.
Right.
Now, if I tried to get that document, and if I don't know your password, file is locked. Not very good.
Right.
There are programs that were developed for law enforcement that unfortunately have kind of gotten out there, guess where? On the Internet.
That program can pick out secret passwords because when analyzed electronically, they stand out from the rest of the words in a file. Alan Brill was able to find my secret password within just seconds.
The machine believes that your password was Xena.
There it is.
With that password, I can get in, and I can be you.
Which means he'd have access to all the files in my computer. That's the kind of technique employed by this young man. John Lee began running with a street gang in Brooklyn's Bedford-Stuyvesant section. But when he was just about 12 years old, his mother gave him a computer, and he was hooked. By the time he was 16, he was head of a notorious gang of telephone and Internet hackers called the Masters of Deception. Today, at 22, he's considered one of the best hackers in the nation. For that reason, we hired him as a consultant for this report.
You have said that you could, I quote you, type 5 keys that would commit a crime that could put you in prison for 5 years. How?
Well, that's a trade secret. I can't tell you those 5 keystrokes. But yeah, I mean, it's not a violent crime.
It's breaking and entering.
But it is a crime.
That's what the judge said when he put John Lee and the other masters of deception away for a year for breaking into the computers of several blue-chip corporations.
Which is, I guess, what you did with TRW, Bank of America, Martin Marietta. Oh?
These names are familiar to me.
What could you have done, John, if you had wanted to? Honest.
Let's go down to the list.
Number one, says Lee, he was not only able to use the internet to obtain and sell the personal credit records of anyone he wanted, which he did, but actually, he could have changed their credit ratings.
Yeah, well, changing credit is, like, pretty easy, actually.
Is it? What else?
If someone was so inclined, they could make reservations, rent limos, take airplane flights.
All on somebody else's credit card.
Well, actually, they could make it so it really was just free and wasn't billed to anybody.
How do you do that?
Well, if you break into the computer system, you don't really have to charge it to anybody.
Most businessmen who've been hit by hackers are too embarrassed to admit the loss of valuable corporate secrets. But one victim, James Linane, who develops computer software, told us he had just started to market a new word processing program called Describe when a customer phoned him to say that it was suddenly available worldwide on the internet, free of charge, to anyone who wanted it. The hackers had struck again.
And now it's all over the world. It can never be recovered. So it's out there. Basically, you can get Describe for nothing. So that's happened.
Fact is, if you know where to go and how to do it on this new superhighway, you can find just about every single computer software program there is, either for free or for sale way below normal cost.
How much did you have invested in this software?
I've personally invested $10 million in it, and it's yet to turn 1 cent of profit.
This technology is different than any technology we've had before.
Scott Charney heads the computer crime unit of the U.S. Department of Justice in Washington.
Think about the automobile. Adults drove, and then they taught their kids how to drive. Here we have a technology in the hands of the children
That the adults don't know anything about.
Nope, and their school teachers may not know anything about it,
Right.
and no one's teaching them how to use it. And it's a powerful technology.
And no one knows better than John Lee what you can do with that technology.
Obviously, change bank balances. You can get insider trading information. You can instantly take out the phone service in a whole area. I mean, you even could control things like gas and light, electricity. I mean, you could even tap lines if you want to. And I must admit, those type of powers can go to your head really fast.
We're in.
12 years ago, the film War Games told the story of an all-American teenage hacker who managed to break into Pentagon computers and almost trigger a nuclear war. Well, that is no longer completely science fiction.
Some of our military computers here in the United States have been successfully hacked into recently, no?
Yes,
Serious?
yes.
It's actually funny because, the truth be known, military sites are actually less secure than like universities or corporations.
During Operation Desert Storm, for example, industry insiders say that some Dutch hackers broke into U.S. military computers to get information on troop and personnel movements. The Pentagon denies that, but they don't deny that other hackers have managed to access data on everything from ballistic missiles to advanced aircraft design. And yet another hacker used the internet to break into the computers at Griffiths Air Force Base in New York State.
And that was tracked back to a 16-year-old in Great Britain.
The U.S. Air Force has a group that tests the security of their installations. They break in to their own computers. They're inside hackers, if you will. Yeah. And I've read reports that say that only 3 to 5% of the places that they attack ever notice that they've been attacked.
But so far, most of the hackers have been roaming the internet, as we said, largely out of nosiness and a desire to beat the system.
When I used to break into computers, it was a challenge to see how good they were versus how good I was.
Well, as this government film sees it, that attitude's changing.
As money mixes with ego, the cyberpunks are becoming better organized. Rarely working alone, they've now developed the power to intercept government and corporate databases, steal secrets, and destroy communications.
Law enforcement officials are training to go after hackers who increasingly are turning their talents to criminal activity.
There's a percentage of the U.S. population that's up to no good. So they're going to look at this technology and say, how can I commit fraud using this technology? How can I steal property using this technology? How can I injure people, if we're so inclined, using this technology?
So the John Gottis of the future will be hackers, or the grandsons of hackers.
Correct.
The U.S. government also worries that the James Bonds, the master spies, and the terrorists of the future will be hackers.
What we're seeing is that corporate espionage and government espionage has gone into the computer age. Foreign intelligence services have discovered that they have to help their national economies. And in many cases, the way to do that is with industrial espionage. Steal the secrets, jumpstart your industries without ever having to leave home.
You mean somebody can sit, I suppose, from here, you could sit, if were you of a mind to, and enter somebody else's...
Anywhere in the world. And that's the internet.
One outfit that is supposed to help deal with these risks is the Computer Emergency Response Team, CERT, at Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh. Funded by the U.S. government, its task is to help prevent break-ins on the internet by advising how to block them. And it's a tough job, for the internet, as we said, is a web of tens of thousands of different companies and universities, government institutions, and private individuals. Until just recently, Dane Gary managed CERT. Who's in charge of internet?
Mike, there's no one in charge of the internet. There is no network manager. There's no network administration at the internet level.
The U.S. is now doing its best to make computer crime a crime worldwide because, as it stands right now, though hackers in the United States who break in over the internet can be prosecuted under U.S. law, that is not necessarily so with hackers overseas.
That individual could well be a foreign government. That individual could be a foreign competitor that is paying for that information.
That's breaking, entering, and selling.
It's breaking and entering by your definition, but let's suppose he was not in this country. Let's suppose he used the internet and was somewhere overseas to exercise this particular attack. In the country from which he is operating, it may not be illegal. The internet knows no jurisdiction.
Right.
This cyberspace that we're describing is not bounded. And there are places on the planet that don't know technologies, that have never had to address the issues of computer crime, and therefore it's not been determined that that activity is illegal.
Nobody realized what the risks were when we first started out. We had no idea what it would become.
Young John Lee again. He says, a hacker can always keep ahead of security, always has new ways to beat the cops, so to speak.
You cannot make a computer secure. You can reduce the risk, but you can't guarantee security. It just isn't going to happen.
Going to jail was a very painful experience, but out of all the stuff that I've seen from hacking and doing stuff all over the world and stuff, I must admit, if someone said, would you do it all over again? I think I say, yeah.